What's up, peeps? Master Yoshi coming at you with another video. We're going to continue our Potentialer food series, and today we're going to talk about a unit that a lot of people use, so this ought to be a pretty interesting video. Some pretty different views as far as how my views are on these monsters and how you guys have favored with them, but we're going to talk about the warbears today. They all have the same first skill, so we'll just go over that now. Their first skill thrashes the enemy, inflicting damage proportionate to your max HP. The attack has a 50% chance to reduce the enemy's attack bar by 25%. So max HP damage and attack bar reduction. Pretty good first skill for all of them. And if I'm not mistaken, all of them are HP units, so they do okay damage with their first skill. It's not amazing, but it is a brawler type skill, so that's good. Alright, first one on the list is Ursha, the fire one. A monster that gets overlooked a lot, and Ursha's really good. For those of you who have been with us on our 5 summon challenge, we're using Ursha, and he's worked out amazingly so far. Alright, so second skill, Roar. Inflicts damage proportionate to your max HP again, and decreases the attack power for 2 turns. It hits all enemies, decreases attack power, and does damage based on his HP. Awesome. Third skill, has a chance to provoke all enemies for 70%, and then every time he gets hit by someone, he counterattacks them. We've got ours, and personally I think if you ruin him, you should ruin him the same way. We have him on Despair. I mean, you could go full energy, you could go, you know, you could go, what is it, Vampire as well. But I do believe, you know, Despair Energy, or even Despair Blade, depending on how you want to build him, is the best way to go. That way when you counterattack, you have a chance to stun them as well. So you reduce their attack bar and stun them, which is pretty cool. And then you got an AoE. So, Ursha, really fun unit. He's good in Karos, he's good in PvP. You know, I mean, you can't provoke the boss, but he does get the counterattack, so when the boss does his AoE damage, he will counterattack. So, Ursha's just a really good tanky monster to have. Moving on, we're going to go to Dagora. This is where it gets a little bit, where there's some people that say they absolutely love Dagora. I don't like him. Another HP tank. His second skill, Crouch, recovers his HP by 30% and increases his defense for 2 turns. Pretty nice, self-sustain. He only heals himself, though. He won't heal an ally, so, you know, pretty selfish monster in that regard. But, I mean, he does have good sustain. And then his Spirit's Will passive, he revives with 30% of his HP, and yeah, that's basically it. He revives, and then in 9 turns he can revive again. I don't remember what it is at max skill. Might be like 7-ish, somewhere in there. Or it might just stay at 9 because it is a passive. I don't know if it actually levels up. But I don't like Dagora. There are people that say you should 6-star him and use him to farm. He is a good farmer, he has good sustain, but he's just so slow at farming, guys. There's so many better options for farming monsters than Dagora. He's not annoying at all in PvP situations. I've never run into a problem with Dagora trying to kill him in PvP, so he's not a terrible monster. I just wouldn't, I'm not going to be building him, you know. Ramagos, another selfish monster, but better than Dagora. Has the same skill, Crouch. He can heal himself and defense buff. And then Clean Shot is what everyone loves about Ramagos. Attacks enemy, inflicting the amount of HP you've lost as damage. You get an extra turn if the enemy dies. I think it's a 4-turn cooldown. It's 4 or 5 at max skill. It does amazing damage. You can straight up go full energy runes with him and give him HP, and or HP defense, HP resistance. You just want him really, really tanky, guys, with a lot of HP. And he can one-shot a lot of monsters, especially if they're water. A lot of people like going vampire, because when you one-shot somebody, you fully heal yourself. You don't have to waste your crouch right after. But once again, this is a monster that I don't have a problem with in PvP. Like, basically, when you go up against Ramagos in PvP, ignore his ass, kill everything else, and then focus down Ramagos. Bring somebody with a provoke or with a stun, or even with heal block. And Ramagos is just a cakewalk. He's so easy to counter. I don't know why people bow down and worship Ramagos like he's the greatest monster in the game. I don't like him. He's too selfish for me. He doesn't do anything for your team other than one-shot somebody. So, there are videos of Ramagos soloing Giant Speed 10, but once again, it's like a slow as hell run. It's ridiculously slow, and I don't know. Not a big fan of the monster, but a lot of people are. He's definitely not bad. He's too situational for me and too easy to counter. Lucia. Lucia's a pretty good one. Lucia is really good for Kairos. I don't really see him being a threat in a PvP situation, but he is really good in Kairos. Second skill, Crouch. Once again, heals himself, defense buff, self-sustain. And then Risky Dash. He loses 10% of his HP to deal damage proportionate to the enemy's max HP. So you can basically run him HP crit damage HP crit damage defense, just a really good brawler for Kairos, A lot of times if you have a weaker team, Lucia will probably be the last one alive, just because of, his crouch, and he's a brawler, so he's really tanky. But, if you guys are looking for a good monster to carry you through the Kairos dungeons, Lucia's a good way to go. Good. And he's a Nat 3. A lot of the warbears are Nat 2s. He is a Nat 3. So he has a little bit higher base stats. And Lucia's a good way to go. Gorgo. Gorgo is a fantastic brawler. Once again, good in PvP, good in arena, good in guild battles. Gorgo's awesome. He has Roar, just like the fire one, decreases the enemy's attack power for 2 turns. And then Charge, deals damage according to your max HP, and this move receives 70% crit rate bonus, and stuns the enemy for 1 turn if it crits. So you really don't need a whole lot of crit rate to stun somebody, and it does a lot of damage. Gorgo, I would rune either Energy Blade or Rage, and just straight up go HP crit damage HP, and he's a fantastic brawler. Tons of HP, tons of damage. This guy is great. You don't really need him on a despair build. I know he has the AoE roar, and yes, it could work. But honestly, I'd go Energy Blade or Rage Blade, or Rage Energy, Rage Blade, one of those two. Fantastic brawler. Fantastic. So all in all, really all of the warbears are good. I'm not a huge fan of Dagora or Ramagos, but once again, they're not terrible. A lot of people do like them, but all of the warbears are good. So don't be disappointed, especially early on in the game when you're pulling some little 2-star warbears or some, or you think you wasted a Mystic Scroll, or wasted a Light Dark Scroll because you summoned Lucia or something like that. All the warbears have their uses, guys. So hopefully this video helped you out. And don't forget to follow us over on twitch.tv/MasterYoshi. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know in the comments, and if you got any cool stories about how the warbears have helped you out, leave those down there too. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, peeps.